You're watching News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dan Gray. Coming up tonight on News Channel 5 at 5, vandals put an end to classes this morning in the Wentzville School District. We'll have the latest on whether these buses will be ready to roll tomorrow. An employee at a High Ridge Taco Bell was killed this morning after a wall on the restaurant collapsed. And for the first time in history, a black judge is sitting on the Missouri Supreme Court. And we are just minutes away from a new era in Cardinal baseball. For the latest on that story, we go to Sports Director Mike Bush, who's live at Busch Stadium. Mike?
Okay, Dan, thank you very much. We're live from Busch Stadium, and this has been one of the worst-kept secrets in baseball. It's been fairly obvious the last few days that Tony La Russa would be the next manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, and this afternoon, General Manager Walt Jocketty will introduce La Russa as the new manager of the Cardinals. Now, La Russa comes with a very impressive resume. He has been a Major League manager for 17 years. He has also, in those 17 years, been Manager of the Year 3 times, and here comes Tony La Russa to be introduced by the Cards General Manager, Walt Jocketty. And let's go right to the podium and the General Manager of the Cardinals, Walt Jocketty.
Well, I certainly hope this crowd today is an indication of what we'll see at Busch Stadium next season, standing room only. This is a very exciting day for me personally and professionally. But to have the opportunity to bring a couple of gentlemen to our organization that I respect very dearly as both friends and as professionals is quite an honor for me, and I think for the Cardinal organization. Tony in particular, we have shared a long and dear friendship for many years, dating back to the late 70s when we were both in Des Moines together. And I've had the opportunity and the enjoyment to watch Tony grow and develop as into one of the game's greatest managers, the best managers of this era. I have the utmost respect for him and confidence in Tony as a manager and as a friend. He's not only a good baseball man, but a good family man. And I want to, before we get any further, make sure that we take time to recognize his family that thought enough of this occasion to take the red eye with Tony last night. So here they are. His wife Elaine and daughters Bianca and Devin. And you know what? You look pretty good for no sleep. That's great. The hiring of Tony La Russa to manage the Cardinals is a huge step in the rebuilding process of this organization. And hiring Tony, a man of Tony's stature and ability, bodes well for the future of this organization, and I'm very, very excited about this. I think it's something that you in time will also learn and agree with me that this is truly a unique individual that we're bringing here to manage our club. He has won 3 Manager of the Year awards, 5 American League Western Division titles, 3 American League championships, a World Championship, which most of that time I had the pleasure of being a part of. And through 1995, Tony's career record of 1,320 victories and 1,183 losses for a winning percentage of .527 is second only to his winning percentage is only second to Tommy Lasorda, I think, in active managers. And I think this is the kind of man we're bringing forward to us today. And it's a guy that, as I said, I'm very excited about. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us. We had a tough time this past year, but I think with Tony on board and with Dunk and some of the other people we're going to bring in, we've got a lot of exciting things in the future. Tony.
Thank you. I have an awful lot that I'd like to say. Hope to be around for several years, so I'll try not to say it all right now. Do it in bits and pieces. But I don't know how many of you recognize this as a homecoming for me. And if you don't feel bad about it, because I had a real indistinguished 1 year in the Cardinal chain in 1977. In fact, the last thing that George Kissel told me was that I wasn't a good enough player to be a part of the Cardinal organization. Next thing he says, you ought to think about managing as soon as possible. So, you know, I do feel something for the Cardinals in the sense that the 1 year as a player, I can remember going through spring training, and, you know, when you've been in professional baseball, there's a reputation that organizations have. And back then, and right through to today, Cardinal baseball was always something that people in uniform would talk about as fundamentally very sound, a lot of hard, aggressive playing, just the type of baseball that if you have a baseball fan in the area would really get turned on. And I saw that for myself that 1 year. I also, as a baseball fan, since I can remember back in Tampa where my folks kind of pushed us in towards the baseball direction, you know, the Cardinal franchise, the history that it has, always aware of it. It's a kind of situation that in the two places I've managed, and I think I've been very, very fortunate, mostly because of the cities, the ownership, the front office, the whole organization, but I've never managed in a place where you're the only team in town. And in talking to managers in that situation, I've always kind of thought, well, you know, it'd be neat to have a part of a ball club where everybody in the community and in the area knows everything about your players. It, you know, creates a certain pressure, but that's really the fun of it. I contrast this a lot to, we might have flown in a little later in the day. It was about 7 a.m. this morning when the four of us flew into St. Louis, but in 1986 we flew into Oakland. And I remember
that's the new Cardinal manager.
My
Tony
gut
La
was
Russa,
really stirring. I was very
Tony La Russa.
apprehensive.
We'll hear from Walt Jocketty, and we'll find out the new coaching staff for the Cardinals coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. Now we join Show Me St. Louis.